Okay, this is the Infinite Media Podcast, and we have some important information to go over, some exciting things to talk about, and that's mainly revolves around Starfield because Bethesda has released their Starfield Direct. And in this video, Todd Howard talks about Starfield. A lot of good content about Starfield. It's shaping up to be an amazing game. They have built on everything that they have created so far as base building, character creation, exploration, and all of those things, and putting that into Starfield. So we are going to get into that. But I do want to talk about, I know last week Apple came out with their Vision Pro. It gets released next year, and the hype has come out. People have made their videos. Of course, if you got the reference, I didn't get the reference because I haven't seen Ready Player One. I've read Ready Player One, the book, and Ready Player Two, the book series. So I definitely recommend those two books. Also, they made a reference apparently in the movie. They did the whole side where they're putting on the, in that it's the, I forget the name of it, but what let the AR goggles that allows them to enter the oasis. They put that and they do a span. That's what happens in the movie, and apparently Apple copies that. So that makes the connection that, hey, we're starting to move towards that science fiction era where you can enter a world and it seems just like reality as far as you be able to move, interact with each other, and all that stuff. That's why, and also, I finished the anime adaptation of Infinite Dendrogram, and it relates to this because Infinite Dendrogram is a, I'm going to say light novel because the light novel came first. So it's a light novel where they are in the real world. The real world. It's not isekai where they transport to a different world, but it is where it's similar to Sword Art Online, where they have this headset. This headset they don't know is very advanced. When they enter this world, the NPCs act like real people, and I'm not trying to give away any spoilers and stuff like that, but based off of the anime covers, I think book 1 to 5. I have some talks about that. But they go into this world, this game world. The NPCs are really advanced. You can be anything you want. They have jobs which represent the classes and stuff like that. You have low tier jobs, regular jobs, well, high end jobs, and then you have superior jobs. You only can have one superior jobs per person. Only one person can have a specific superior job until that, if it's a TN, which is the NPC, the native of the world, if they die, the superior job becomes available. If the masters, which are the players, come in, then they just keep the superior job period, because if the master dies, they come back after 3 days in game time, after 24 hours in world time. The game basically operates at 3 times the speed of normal. So there's a correlation between the real world and the game world, which I think that is great. I don't know if any MMORPG follows that right now, where they have an in-game time and things change, and it's just an accelerated version of real world time, so they can implement. That might be annoying, but it gives the depth weight. So you can't, because in a video game, okay, you die, you go back to save point, but in this type of game, there's actually a penalty to die. And I want to bring up this, I only have this book. I was trying to find volume 1. This is volume 9. It's a really good series. I recommend reading it because this is basically what I want from AR/VR. I first started with Sword Art Online, which is amazing, and I still would like a game like that. Sword Art Online is more like video game types stuff, NPCs, normal NPCs, monsters, and stuff like that. But with Infinite Digigram, this is talking about Chat GPT. I'm not going to give too much spoilers on this, but this is if you implemented Chat GPT into it, or AI. I'm not going to use Chat GPT because these apparently OpenAI, which is the parent company of that made ChatGPT, partnered with Stanford. They put some AI, autonomous agents, in this simulated game world, and they acted like real people. So I want to bring up this for those who actually read, who are interested in other light novels, to check it out. Give me your thoughts if you do check it out, or you could just watch the anime on Crunchyroll. The only thing I'm upset about the anime is that I know I talk a lot about One Piece, and One Piece likes to drag on the anime and do all this fillers. But in Infinite Digigram's case, they should have made the episodes longer, drew out, instead of the first season trying to go through books 1 through 5, do a season per book, or do a season for every 2 books, because they should have drawn it out to actually capture the epicness of the situations and the fights. Because if you read the book, then you could feel the energy. Like I was reading and reading. Okay, next book. Read. Amazing. Another good book. This is more isekai meets game world. This is Overlord. Now, you should know about Overlord if you're watching this channel. It's not about just video games. It's anime too, because we love stories. And they did a great adaptation from the light novel to the anime until they got to a certain point where they apparently skipped over an entire arc because they were supposed to. Spoiler alert. I think it's season 4 of the anime. They were the next thing they were supposed to do. Ainz was supposed to go to the Sacred Kingdom and do that arc where he basically sets up a situation where he makes the Sacred Kingdom fall. That was supposed to take place after he went and dealt with the kobolds and all of that stuff. And then the monster war. I don't know if they did the monster war in the anime. That might have been part of the Sacred Kingdom arc in the light novel. I get those mixed up, and my timeline. So, but this is an excellent one because this is based off of. Well, I'm not gonna say this is based off of the game, because Yggdrasil, the game behind this world, is similar to VR. No, they call it deep dive MMORPG, where you go in similar to Sword Art Online. You have your character, you feel everything, you smell everything. But in this one, the NPCs in the game are NPCs. They're not real people. Monsters are monsters, stuff like that. The good thing about this is apparently the guy, he stays online until the servers get closed down, and he gets transported to a world that's similar to Yggdrasil, and all his NPCs from his guild and stuff become realistic. They become actual people or actual creatures and stuff like that. They have actual intelligence. They have actual wants and needs. They still revere the players that created them as gods and stuff like that, so they won't betray them. So that's good. And we're getting closer and closer to turning these into real life video games. Division Pro is not there. It is. I like how Marquez Brownlee related it to Series 0 of the whole Vision Pro, and we are far away. I don't know how far away, because ever since AI came out, it has proven that science can move fast, and it can move even faster when you democratize it, make things cheaper, because now you have all of these other people adding their spin on things, developing on this technology, and it's great. So who knows how close? Maybe we're 50 years off. Maybe we're 10 years off, because what's his name? Elon. Look at me forgetting people's names, and he's so popular. Elon is working on his Neuralink. Okay, I know, chip in your head and stuff like that, but maybe it develops where it doesn't have to be a chip in your head. Maybe it becomes a headset similar to what the Nerve Gear and Sword Art Online, even though the Nerve Gear was used to create the Death game. Maybe we'll go through that situation or not, but we're getting close where we can replicate senses and stuff like that, I feel, personally. So I just want to talk about those because they're video game related or just not anime, light novel type stuff. So there's a connection. So it really gets me excited about the future. Just like watching the Starfield Direct. I looked at the initial parts, but we're going to go further. It's a 45-minute video. We're probably not going to go through the whole video. We'll see, because I'm going to watch it on 1.5 times speed, because that's how I normally watch videos, either 1.25 or 1.5, because I do have a lot of videos to watch on my watch later playlist, and it just helps me go things. And then when you get used to the improved speed, like normal speed just feels so slow. But look, us started just watching this. Actually, it actually reminded me of the excitement I had playing video games. It's been a while, but well, games like this, I do enjoy playing Wrath of the Righteous, but those are top-down isometric type games. It's been a while since I've just been sitting down and played a game like Skyrim. The last one was Enderal, but I put the difficulty too high. Y'all remember that? I uploaded the video. It was like, it's so difficult. Okay, let's play. This game comes out in September.
Hey everyone, thank you so much for joining us today, and welcome to Bethesda Game Studios. You know, we've been so lucky over the decades to make the kind of games that we love here, and that's thanks to all of you. From the Elder Scrolls to Fallout, we love creating these worlds and playing in them just as much as you do. And throughout all that time, we'd often talk about and dream up the space game. What if we could take that...
Let's mute it before we get into the good stuff. I'm still going to have this play. Apparently, he says later on in the video that Elder Scrolls 6 is going to be his last Elder Scrolls game. I don't know his age, but one of the other influencers said he was like in his 50s or stuff like that, which is understandable. I guess he's moving on to other things. And their goal is to make Elder Scrolls 6 be as big as Skyrim, or if not bigger. And when I say big, I don't mean like the game map size. I mean as far as people invested in the ecosystem, modding, the community behind it. Because Skyrim, the community behind that game is still going strong, and that's mainly because of mods. Because essentially with mods, you just invite players into your ecosystem to develop. You invite them to your world. You give them a part of it. Oh, unmute.
is our first new universe in over 25 years. But it's still a Bethesda RPG through and through, where you step into a new world and you get that feeling of unlimited possibilities. But this time...
They said, first universe in 25 years. So, okay. So, that tells me, of course, a new game. That's what I heard. But when I hear new universe, I hear, okay, they plan on doing more than one game. Not just Starfield, but Starfield 2. Maybe it'll have a backstory. It has already these factions and stuff like that. So that's nice. I like backstories.
It's not just one world. It's over 1,000 worlds. Because the choice of where to go, it's not ours. It's yours. And it wasn't until
Which is different. Because you have Fallout. Fallout, you have guns in that one. But the difference between this and Fallout, everyone knows, is not only is this is a multi-planetary game where you can travel to different planets and stuff like that. It's a sci-fi game. I would say Fallout, initially playing it when you have the mutants and stuff like that, okay, science fiction and stuff like that. But now that I look back at it, I view it more of like, that's post-apocalyptic game. You could say science fiction, post-apocalyptic, but this is a sci-fi. Fallout's is post-apocalyptic. Elder Scrolls is your fantasy. Bethesda is Arcane's different than Bethesda, or is it?
Now that we had the technology to create it.
I don't know.
From the rocks at your feet to the mountains in the distance.
I have to look that up.
Creatures that live in these worlds. That isn't just a backdrop. That moon is actually there orbiting the planet. Yes, you can visit it too.
good. The graphics
We
look good.
realistically simulate the galaxy around
There's
us.
nothing there on
Our
the planet.
next-generation lighting
That's
model uses
upsetting.
real-time global illumination to light the world based on the type of star and the makeup of the planet's atmosphere.
Okay, global illumination. So potential for ray tracing, if they already don't have ray tracing. We'll see.
We also have an all-new animation system. And of course, you can play it in third person, and you can play it in first person.
Okay, you can improve speed. Or maybe it just looks like
We
they're
love
moving
exploration
faster
and
because
rewarding
I'm
it, but you
working.
do explore differently in this
Watching
game given its
someone play
scale.
5.
That usually involves exploring an area you've landed in. You can collect resources, do a mission, and maybe even stumble upon something unexpected.
Now this is the part where it reminded me and brought back the feelings of playing Skyrim. I'm gonna say more about Skyrim due to the fauna and stuff. It's been a while since I played Fallout New Vegas, and that's just hearing the footsteps like rocking around, running in the world. It's just in Skyrim, it's so great. Just running and walking around the world is enjoyable. Not just the combat, it's just everything is just so amazing, and just walking, enjoying the world. I don't know if you get those feelings. You can let me know in those comments. And like the video. Okay, combat is just like any other shooter. Of course,
We do love stuff and all of that.
I will point this out. I'm pretty sure everyone else understands this too, that you get experience, period, instead of like the Elder Scrolls where you level up based on which what are you using, whether it's destruction magic, restoration magic, long sword, no, I don't want to say long sword, one-handed or two-handed. And I'm curious, will Elder Scrolls 6 be similar to Skyrim, or will they just do a flat experience thing like in all of their other games, like the Fallout series and stuff like that?
The items allowing you to pick everything up, and you can view all that in your data menu. This is the hub for everything you're doing, from your skills to your ship, your missions, and your inventory. We love to pack a ton of detail in every object, from all of your weapons to spacesuits.
The graphics
to
look
food. We
amazing.
just obsess over the details.
I just want to keep on pointing that out. The graphics look
When
amazing.
you're done exploring, you can walk back or fast travel to your ship. We have companions and crew you can take with you. I left Vasco here back at my ship.
Welcome back, Captain Howard.
And he can even say your name. Let's head out.
He says he can say your name. Okay, so I know people. I've been on Reddit. I know people will just come up with these crazy names just to see if the computer will say these names. Probably some names will be inappropriate and stuff like that. I know there are people out there who would do that just to see. Now, will they be able to say any name? Or are they using name recognition software where they just can try to pronounce any name? Or will it be they'll only pronounce the names that are understandable and then just not announce? I don't know how it's gonna be. And will it not just be the companions, or will it be all the NPCs? How much do they set it up? Because one of the things I do not like about it's alright because they're able to do it in an effective way and a great way, is in Pathfinder, Kingmaker, and in Wrath of the Righteous, when they do the voice acting, is that they say it in a way where you don't have to use the name. Like if you speak English and stuff like that, you can say a sentence like, "This is my friend," instead of like, "This is the name of the character," and stuff like that. So it's alright.
Our mission was to convey the wonder and majesty of space exploration, to evoke the romance of the golden age of early spaceflight. And we've been referring to this approach as NASA Punk. This means a design language where the tech is advanced, yet still looks grounded and relatable.
For us, it's that
Yes,
contrast, that's where the
understand.
visual interest is. Obviously the NASA, which is the rigid, hard function over style.
And
I'm not
in
gonna go
is
too
Overlord
much
style.
on this one. We're gonna
You can
get
see that visual style coming through
Okay.
in your ship. Your ship is your home for you and your crew. And like many of the spaces in our game, it has a slightly retro and analog touch, a bit of lo-fi rather than sci-fi, where everything is well used, worn, and lived in.
Alrighty. What's the plan, Captain?
Okay.
This
Okay.
is your star map. It starts with the planet.
Pause. Okay, I don't know how relevant is all of this extra stuff on here. This is I guess, the analyzation of the planet. So the type of planet, gravity on the planet, temperature, atmosphere. Now, I'm assuming the fauna and flora and the water signal is relevant, because that will tell you what you could find here. Because if they have a lot of fauna here, they had potential monsters. A lot of flora, some stuff to collect. Water's radioactive, so I'm gonna assume that you'll have a way to treat the water. Do you collect the radioactive water, and you have something on your ship to purify it and stuff like that? And then the resources, these are your natural elements. It seems like, of course, I see the iron and argon. Ne. I'm not a chemist, but I don't remember R-COC. So that might be their made up element.
You're currently on. You can see all of its info and resources. You can choose a landing
But
spot.
it
or
reminds me
travel
of
to
Mass
known
Effect.
locations.
It's been a while since Mass
Backing out
Effect,
further, you can view
so
all the planets in the system.
you'll probably be
Obviously,
able
the
to
game is
scan
big,
them
and
similar
it's
to
here
Mass
you can
Effect.
see planets that have key locations, missions, or life on them, versus the many planets that are barren but resource heavy. Zoom out even further to see all the systems in this part of the galaxy. Here you can plot a course to ones that are light years away. This uses your ship's grav drive to fold space and jump to these systems.
Oh,
you
and
will
then
need to
they
upgrade
have a
your ship and skills if you
level.
want to
I like it. So they do have level zones, which I have mixed feelings. I like the Skyrim aspect where you can just play Skyrim, and then the level thing. The level of all of your enemies and the environments levels up with you, so you can really go anywhere you want at that time. I know that they have mods, specifically Requiem, where they de-level the world. So there are specific things that you can and cannot do. They make dragons actually feel like, okay, you can't fight them at level 1, level 2, level 3. You're gonna have to level up if you plan on fighting some dragons, which is more of a role-playing experience. And eventually you'll get so strong, like when you become like a level 80 character, you shouldn't be having a hard time fighting some bandits. And that's the idea. As you get higher and higher level, lesser creatures will be inferior, not able to do it, which makes sense role-playing wise. And then I see valid reasons for whichever case. It's nice to just walk around the world without having to worry about that, but it's also nice to know that you're progressing, you're getting stronger. I lean more towards the progressing, getting stronger end, so I'm all for these level requirements or level suggestions.
jump to the most distant ones. But for now, we'll plot a course to the Alpha Centauri system, where we can find the city of New Atlantis.
Now, I don't know if that 33 right there is the health or the number of grav jumps, or if it's this one right here. Over here, this 4 out of 14 is how much you have left. I see energy, shielding. Okay, there's grav. These balanced lasers. I'm assuming lasers are your weapons. MSL, missiles. BAL, ballistic weaponry.
UZ space. Maintain your current course while we scan your ship's cargo.
No contraband on ship. So if you start stealing stuff, is that how they're going to be able to scan it? And how are they going to determine that it's stolen? So that's interesting, because in Elder Scrolls and Skyrim, they don't scan you unless you get arrested, and they don't check to see if you have anyone. But now they said, okay, we know our players like to steal stuff. Okay, so now if they come into the system, now we're just going to scan their ship. And if they have some stolen stuff, will they try to fight? Will you have to run away? Or what will they do it the lame route where, oh, you're not able to be in here? Or will they do it, okay, we noticed stolen things, I'll attack you immediately? Or will they do it the more engaging, interactive, the more realistic way where, okay, you have stolen items, we're not going to tell him we know he has stolen items, we're going to let him land his ship and then arrest him when he gets on the ground. And then maybe they send a force to get you. Maybe they send an overwhelming force to get you where there's no way you can win. Or they'll just they underestimate you and be all like, okay, we're going to send this tiny force. You can kill them if you can, which will be interesting. I think my assumption, my guess, is that they didn't think of it that detailed amount, so they'll just say, okay, stolen equipment, we're not going to let you in here, or stolen equipment, attack. That's what I'm going to assume.
You are cleared for landing at New Atlantis.
As soon as you land in a city like New Atlantis, your eyes are guided.
Now, one of the things I want to know is the landing scripted, or can we land it ourselves? Even in these populated events, I know there's specific landing zones, but will we be able to pilot our ship and land it ourselves? Like, I'll be okay if in these populated zones the landing is scripted. There are specific spots, but in the barren lands, no scripted landing. I want to land wherever I want to.
Upwards to just these boundless, vast buildings.
It's the biggest city we've ever made, not just in size, but also in the amount of custom art, crowds, and quests.
So the main focus when we're designing a city is obviously what supports the story. We try and tell as many small stories as possible.
This is a colony war memorial.
It's a few moments of gameplay that make the space feel like it's full of real
I
characters
just
that are going
love
about their
the
day-to-day lives.
graphics in this game.
Stop and think about it.
Buddy, it's coffee.
It's also where your adventure with Constellation begins.
Oh, they got the Apple Watch in there.
Welcome to Constellation. We have a lot to talk about.
By the
Well,
time you meet them,
I guess if I was
Constellation-
making that joke, I would have to say it's more the Galaxy Watch, because the Apple Watch is square. That watch was circular, similar to Galaxy. But
is sort of seen as this mythical group. Most people don't even know they exist anymore. They're the last true explorers in the galaxy, and they're trying to find the answers to some of humanity's biggest questions.
The artifacts are so different, so alien, and I'm certain one of them reached out and spoke to you.
Okay, they got some
place
secrets,
it on the table here.
secrets to uncover,
Oh my god. Look at how
things
it's
to
coming together.
learn,
That means there's a
part
set
of the
built
world
by an
building.
intelligence outside the settled systems.
It's definitely an eclectic cast of characters. You've got Sarah Morgan, the ex-soldier and adventurer, now Constellation's leader. Mateo, the theologian who believes that there's definitely something else out there. Noel, the gifted scientist and Sarah Morgan's protege. And Walter, a very successful businessman in the settled systems and Constellation's financier.
Anything goes as long as you have the money.
There's also Vlad,
Facts.
the ex-pirate, Sam Coe, the former space cowboy, and Barrett.
You know what I hate about these pirates? Completely resistant to my otherwise...
From what I saw, I don't know if these individuals are all of the companions under that one, like, faction, or did you just find these individuals during your explorations and then they just came to that location?
Irresistible charm.
The journey you take with Constellation is just the first of many you'll embark on. The Settled Systems is home to all kinds of different stories, people, and adventures for you to uncover.
What in the world was that?
The United Colonies is where you'll find New Atlantis, the first major human settlement in space. The people who live here value law, discipline, and the legacy of humanity. They consider themselves the true children of Earth.
You ever think of joining up with the Vanguard?
Faction
United
building?
Colonies, even get your use of
That's
citizenship?
nice.
New Atlantis isn't the only city within the United
And when I
Colonies.
say
The city of
faction
Sidonia
building,
on Mars to this
I
day
mean
serves as the
that they have different factions with their own stories. I'm not saying you could build your own faction, but they have built different factions,
Star
which is
systems.
good.
This is Freestar Collective space. The capital of the Freestar Collective is Aquila City.
The Stone Root Inn is an Aquila City fixture.
A ranger relies on judgment and intuition to do what's best for the people.
Neon started out as a fishing platform, but is now known throughout the settled systems as a pleasure city, where almost anything goes.
If you've got morality issues, this definitely isn't the job for you.
morality, and they pointed it out, that's going to be in the game. Now I'm going to go into character creation because the character creation is quite nice.
Okay, take it easy.
You'll pick from a lineup of 40 presets, and that'll be your starting point.
Graphics still look good.
Your journey from there can be as
what you
detailed
can
or
look
as quick
like.
as you want it to be. This new system has more to offer than ever before.
Really? You?
No, I'm not going to, because there was a funny part right there. And I'm going to put this at normal because it was really funny. Now, the really good thing is the backgrounds and the traits, which lets you flesh out your character even more.
This is also where you start to decide who you want to be. That's where backgrounds come in.
Diplomat, cyberneticist, and then you get starting skills and stuff. And the great thing about this background is similar to with Pathfinder Righteous, where your apparently your religion and stuff like that will have an effect on how the NPCs treat you. Similar to this, your background might come into effect, like they're going to showcase right now, that if you're a hunter, hey, this guy's looking for a hunter. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, you're perfect for the job, which is amazing for replayability.
You could be in the middle of a fancy restaurant talking to some guy, and suddenly you learn he needs a beast hunter to help track down a monster.
Fine. I probably should stick to professionals anyway, given what happened the last time.
We're also giving you the option to customize your build even further by letting you pick up to 3 traits. Traits are completely
raised and lightened. This is where you got the funny part.
Optional, and they come with their own advantages and disadvantages.
Hero worshipped. So if you choose that, then you'll get a fan. This guy is crazy.
Is it really, really you?
He'll join your crew and he'll give you gifts if you're willing to put up with his constant commentary.
I can't believe I get to stand near you, breathing the same air.
I've got to have every molecule.
That is creepy. Nice that they put that. That's an interesting character right now. I don't know if they did that every molecule thing part as the joke, or did he really like in game change his voice like that and he's actually a creepy individual.
My favorite trait is kid stuff. You have to pay some credits to support your parents, but they're very sweet and it's really fun to go visit them.
Honey, we got ourselves a visitor.
Oh my god!
I came across some hostile zealots in space, but because I had chosen a trait that made me the same religion as them, I was able to get by without any issues.
Okay, nice. This is great. So I suggest all of you, that's gonna be enough. I'm gonna finish watching it separately, but I suggest all of you watch this video if you haven't already, because we have two big games coming out soon. That's your Baldur's Gate 3 and that is your Starfield, and they're going to guide the video game industry in terms of like the role-playing games from here on out, especially now that AI is going to be involved in more video games. If you haven't seen what Nvidia is doing with Nvidia Ace and stuff like that, and Nvidia, the big GPU manufacturers, has like reached $1 trillion market cap on the back of AI. Yes, I have great expectations for them. But anyway, like the video if you liked it. Please subscribe. Please let me know what you think about the light novels I mentioned, Overlord and Infinite Dendrogram. Let me know if you have any light novels that I should read, because I do enjoy light novels. My favorite ones are Is It Wrong to Try to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon? These two, How Not to Summon a Demon Lord. Those are really great. I also read Our Last Crusade or The Rise of a New World. So let me know if there's any new ones. Let them be similar to those, or some that are just really good, that are on the level of Is It Wrong to Try to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon, because that's on another level too. Infinite Dendrogram is on a whole nother level. Those are just amazing, period. I've read The Eminence and Shadow. So I love light novels, especially if they're video game related and they have the deep dive MMORPG experience. Otherworld light novels, those will be amazing. And let's just enjoy the future, because it's a great time to be a gamer. Thanks for watching.